Hey everybody, welcome or welcome back. My name is Monique and welcome to Medora Budgets. I'd like to thank anybody who's liked or commented on any of my videos, and especially those that have chosen to subscribe to my channel. Truly started this as a way, that's my doggy, truly started this as a way to hold myself accountable, but I understand, recognize, and appreciate the community as a whole. So if you are rocking with me on a journey, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you haven't made up your mind yet, sit with me for a spell. At the end of this video, if it's content you find valuable or enjoyable, please feel free to subscribe. It's myself and Sweets, married with a whole bunch of kids, figuring out our future, family, and finances, so the decisions we're making now won't negatively impact them in the future. So we're here to do a couple of different things. The first thing I want to do is just do a monthly calendar overview and just look at things and how they're laying out for September. So the month of September for me runs from September the 6th through October the 3rd. I have washi tape denoting the different paycheck cycles for myself. Today is the 12th, so this is finishing up 1 week of this particular paycheck cycle, and I still have another week to go. As you can see, everything has cleared out that is needed to, for the most part, except for water. So water is, I might turn this other light on over here on the side. Water is going to be an increase of $37 instead of $25. So that is a change over here in the corner that you guys might be able to see. And then another thing you will see is you've got here Disney Plus. So Disney, how can I explain this? So my mobile company, Verizon, is trying to increase my price again. They increased the price by $4 per line about 3 months ago. And now, because of the plan type that I have, it's a grandfathered plan. Because of that plan type, they are saying that they're going to only have $5 auto pay discount versus $10. So I get another $30 off the bill because I have 3 lines and all of them are on auto pay. And now they're going to cut that down to $5 each line, which means only $15. And to me, I consider that to be another rate increase. I think they're trying to get everybody to move over to the My Plan that they have, and they're trying to encourage us, and they're just trying to encourage me or push me a little harder at this point. So with that said, I did move one of my lines over to My Plan because I want to see how that matches up as far as my monthly bill is concerned. But with that move, I no longer get the Disney, Hulu, ESPN Plus bundle together for free. It's now a paid expense if I choose to have it, and I choose not to. So Sweets already has a Disney plan. We pay for that yearly. It's $150 and it's due in December. He did call them to see about adding Disney plus Hulu, and he wants it at no ads. And they told him it would be about $19.99 a month, and that there wasn't a way to pay for that though, for a yearly amount. So he did go ahead and sign up for that. So now you will see a bill for that on the 10th of every month, Disney Plus for the $19.99. But now I will not have to worry about paying that $150 at the end of the year for the yearly Disney plan. All right, so I think those are all of the updates. At this point, just Water, iCloud, and Apple Care are the only 3 things that still need to come out. Okay, so let's stick that over to the side. Next, I am going to pull out my iPad and just talk through my goals. So here are the goals that I have. I want to make sure I don't have any glares going on there, and I think you guys can see that. I'm going to come in just a little bit. There we go. All right, so let's see what we got going on here. So these are the September goals that I have. I don't think you guys ever saw this, but I did mark those out because I do feel like I need to track these better. Where is the iPad pen? Here it is. Okay. All right, so what we got going on. So I've achieved all of my finance goals. I wanted to make a $100 extra payment for a city card. So I have that one. I want to be able to pay off my Ally credit card, and I did that on yesterday. And then I wanted to reach $250 in my self-care challenge, and I actually reached $300. So that one is complete. When it comes to family, haven't done these yet. I want to schedule Corinne for her ACT test. We need to do a campus tour, and then I need to buy a baby bassinet, and we'll talk about that one a little bit later on. Not for me. Not for me. All right, next for personal. Can you guys see all of those? Let's see. Let's come in a little bit more. There you go. All right. I don't like the angle on that. So let me see if I come back just a bit on there. Y'all forgive me. I'm putting y'all through a little bit. All right, let's see if that works. Okay. For personal, schedule a vision board meetup for my crew and a ministry outing for the sign ministry I'm a part of. I haven't done those yet. I do need to shop for work attire. I've done the majority of that, but I have a few more pieces I need to get this weekend. And then y'all, my blood pressure is going a little bit out of whack. So I think I need to buy one of those high blood pressure machines that you can use to track it. And then for health, so this is one of the reasons why I really do like the digital printers or digital planners better than just having a paper planner. It's for reasons like this. So for my health habits, I wanted to add a tracker there, but I don't have a lot of space there. But you can take a widget and you can make it as small as you want to, because you can always blow it up if you need to. And that's what I did here. So what you'll see is we've got documented here. We're going to walk 3 times a week. And then I have my little small mini widget that I have over here. I walked 4 times week 1. This week I've walked 3 times already, and I probably will walk again Friday and Saturday, because I'm not sure I'll be able to walk week 3 while I'm out of town. I had another one for drink more water. That one was a little bit more subjective. I did not put actual tracker to that, like I want to drink 6 bottles of water or 8 cups of water or whatever the case may be. So I'm just going to say I did it. I'm doing it. And then coffee. Now this one is a complete fail. I should only have coffee on the weekends. And yeah, everywhere that you see a mark is when I did have coffee, not when I did not have coffee. It's when I did have coffee. So I'm still working on those. But overall, this is my daily planner. And I will show you just very quickly, I am doing the Bujo kind of style. I think that we had talked about as far as my budget is, my planning is concerned as well. So the way that I do that, I have a few categories. I do the to-do category. Every task that I feel like I need to do is listed there. Anything I need to follow up on. So anything that I've done and I need to make sure that it happened the way that I expected it to, or I reached out to someone and I'm waiting for them to call me back or reach out to me, they would be listed here so that I keep track of those things that I need to follow up on, or waiting for somebody to follow up with me on. Morning routines, the pray, the plan, the practice, walk and clean. You guys have seen those before. And then here's my reading that I do, whatever book that I'm reading. If I'm reading anything, that would be notated here as well. For my work schedule, I have that documented as well. If there's a mark by the appointment, then that means, you guys see that? Then that means that I am leading that call. Everything else is just attending. If it's highlighted, it means that that call happened and I did attend. If it's marked out, that means that it was canceled. And then over here is where you'll see an area, and I use this area for my brain dump. And I run that brain dump throughout the course of the day. At the end of the day, right before I get ready to go to bed, I look at my brain dump, and that fuels my Bujo list for tomorrow, for the next day. I then erase all of that brain dump, and then I use this area to document, like just a little journal entry, just something for me to keep track of everything that I've done, everything that I was feeling for the day. So that's how I'm trying to track as far as my daily plans are concerned. And last, we will talk about the budget. So let's put that up. Let me get a pen. All right, so here is our weekly budget that we have for 9/6. So this weekly budget covers, or this is a bi-weekly budget, is for a paycheck. It covers 9/6 through 9/19. If anybody is listening and you have ever watched Medea, you should know that term, 9/19. It always makes me giggle. All right, so here's some of the things though that have happened for this past week only. So we still have another week to go, but in this past week, I did put the $1,500 into the bills account, $800 into my variable account. I didn't roll anything over, but I did move over $50 from my bills buffer account into my bills account, and we'll talk about the why behind that. For my bills, you'll notice that anything that's a subscription, it has the word subs by it. I probably should add here the Disney, because I do not have that listed down here. So Disney, and that $20 will be over here. I didn't plan for that, but it's there. And let's put, actually, I'm going to put 20 here so I remember how much it costs. And then I'm going to put subs here, because that money is still covered through my subs, my subscriptions sinking fund. So I don't have to save up anything more. The $85 or $80 that I contribute to that now is still good enough to cover this expense as well. All right, so anything that has subs next to it, it comes out of the Ally credit card, and then I unstuff the cash later on. Everything else came out as expected, except for the water. Like I told you before, it went from $25 to $37. I'm not going to write in the amounts just yet. We're going to leave that blank until it's time for me to do a closeout completely of the paycheck. Then I'll write in those numbers. As far as my savings was concerned, that all happened as expected. When it comes to my variable expenses that you see listed here, so week 1 came out just as I had planned it to, so it was a total of $260. But for this week 2, because I would normally have done a mini cash stuffing right now, these are the amounts that I'm going to stuff for this coming week, this last week leading up to my next paycheck. 100 in groceries, 30 in gas, 30 in home, 30 in dining, 20 in supplements, 10 in pets, which is normal. I'm not giving anything to the extra. Normally, I would have given bonus babies another $20, but I am backing off of that just a little bit. I am now over $100 in their envelope. They haven't had to ask for anything or need anything. Their mom and dad do a great job of taking care of everything that they need to anyway. So now I'm only going to stuff this at the time that I get paid initially. So they'll get $20 every paycheck instead of $20 every week. Corinne was supposed to get her $20, but you'll notice here that she's got a 0 as well. We went to see Beetlejuice on this past Friday. I told Corinne to take a jacket because she always gets cold. I always get cold. She didn't bring a jacket. She took my jacket. I had to go to TJ Maxx and buy a jacket. So Corinne is paying for that jacket. And so that's where that $20 is coming at. So she's going to be hurt. I think they call it butt hurt. She's going to be butt hurt tomorrow when she's looking at her account and she's trying to see why her 20 ain't in there. That dub belongs to me, boo. So you can hang it up. Now, as far as all of the other money, remember, I've changed things up. Week 1, I'm going to cash stuff that into envelopes. Week 2, I'm going to cashless stuff that. So I'm going to put that in my high yield savings account that's associated with my Ally my high yield checking account on Ally, because they have, for that spending account or that checking account, they now have buckets that are available for that. So I'm going to go over into that. I'm going to try and hide a little bit of information because I don't want to just show all my stuff. I don't want to show all of my stuff out. So let me see if I got a piece of paper that is long enough. Yeah, let's do that. All right. So here is where you've got our, oh, I'm holding it a little too tight. Hold on. No, not overdraft coverage. I don't know what that is. All right. So here are the spending buckets that I have now for my Ally checking account. It's the same amounts that I had documented manually on the paper budget that you just looked at. So this amount is into the Ally checking account. And it's my understanding when I swipe to pay for something, I will have the opportunity to let them know which category to pull that money from. So it works basically the same way as the high yield savings account does. And so that's what we're going to do now for week 2. And I think I'm going to keep this up. Oh, that hurt. I think I'm going to keep this up all the way through. So I'm going to do week 1 in cash, week 2 cashless, and we'll see how that works out. All right, so the total now, so that's 260 for week 1, 220 for week 2. That's going to be a total of $480. Next, we have debt. So for debt, my auto payment, I did that at $255. So we're good on that. That was the semi payment on that one. Kohl's, nothing. Green Sky, $90, Room to Go, $100, and then City, I was able to make that extra debt payment like I talked about before. So this is how I got that done. It showed that I should have had $82 left in the account based on the budgeted amount for this whole paycheck cycle. I also needed to account, so I have 82 there. I knew that water came in a little bit higher than I expected. So that's why I took this $50 from the bills buffer account and put into the bills account. That would accommodate for this water increase that you see here, and that gives me enough money to add another $19 to this $82 and make a $100 city payment. I made it sooner than I was supposed to. I should have waited and did this at the end of the paycheck cycle right before I got paid, but I was anxious and I was excited about getting that money in there, so I went ahead and did that. Okay, so that is the way my budget laid out. I do have that in pink because it is unplanned and it did come out of the bills account, but it's still a good thing. We're going to have a party because of that. It ain't a problem. It was a good thing to have that amount come out. The only other thing I will cover is what happened with my partial payment that I made for mortgage. So, story time, right? Popcorn and Coke. I went online to PennyMac and I noticed that it said, if you are making a payment on the account and it's less than the amount that's due, my mortgage payment is $715 a month. $567 goes towards the actual mortgage itself, and then there's another $165 or $167 that goes towards escrow for my property taxes. So total $715. With that said, on PennyMac's site it says if you make a partial payment or if you pay money and it's not enough to cover the full amount of the bill, then we will, let's scoot out a little bit for right now, then we will hold it. And then when we get enough money that satisfies the full amount that's due, then we will apply it to your account. So I said, okay, bet, that works. Well, I did not stay on PennyMac's site. Okay, let me be clear. I did not stay on PennyMac's site and make that payment. I went to my bank. I did the $365 as a bill pay because that's normally how I pay my bill. So earlier this week, I went in to check and make sure that everything happened the way that it was supposed to. And that $365 is sitting there in the account. And lo and behold, they had taken that $365 and applied it as a principal payment. So I did call them, talk to a gentleman, and he said two things. Number one, he said it depends on when you make those payments on whether or not they would consider it to be a principal payment or whether or not they would consider it to be a partial payment. But he also told me that my account was not set up to accept partial payments. Who knew that was a thing? So I didn't realize that that was a requirement, and maybe there are other companies that don't do it that way, but that's the way PennyMac does it. So he went ahead and set the account up to receive partial payments. That was the first thing he did. The second thing he did was contact another department area to say, can we move this money over from being a principal payment amount to a partial payment? And I guess they said they'd be able to do that. I've got to go back in and check. So I need to check tomorrow, I think is when I wrote that note for myself. I need to check tomorrow to make sure that that was done. Okay. But I said, well, I noticed that on the website itself, it talks about the fact that you can make a partial payment. And there's actually a section there that says additional payment. And he said, no, if you use that part for additional payment, it's actually going to apply that money to the escrow. So he said, you really should just watch what you're doing as far as when you make that partial payment. Number one, he said, you are set up though now to accept those, a split payment method. So you should be okay. But I don't know that I trust it at this point. So I may hold the money myself, put it into my buffer account, and then just make one payment of $715 at one time. We shall see. All right. And then the last thing to cover is my variable account and the spending that I did there. So we've got that documented. These are all of my cash unstuffing amounts that I had. Spent $172 as far as total for groceries, $50 in gas, $10 in home, $27 in dining, $24 in meds, and $12 for pets. And here are my running amounts that I still have left in all of those. I just counted that money up in my envelopes. For my extra savings, It used to have $46 in there, but you know, I take all of the ones when I do my weekly check-in every week. If I have any ones in any of these envelopes, I take those out and I put them in that extra savings envelope. And so I ended up adding $8 there. So now I have a total of $54 into that one. And I think that is it. Yep, that is it. All righty. It was a lot of information to cover, but that was pretty good. Okay, we are done. Thanks everybody for your time. You guys have a good one.